Hey everyone, FPL Valentino here. It's with another video on double chips and strategies on when to use them, when to hold them, when to play them, just to get the maximum amount of points. To try to get maximum amount of points. I just did a video before on having an aggressive approach if you just want to get your bench boost out of the way and your free hit, wildcard, triple captain. Really get it out early, out of the way, so you don't have to deal with it and have a lead on your FPL mini rivals in your cups and your leagues. There's different ways to play this. Everyone has a different strategy. You know, the game at the end of the day, so you want to have fun. But some people are competitive and want to try to win. So yeah, that was an aggressive video strategy. So this is just a strategy of what I think you should use them and when to get the most out of them. So now this season we've got double the chips. So you got wildcard, triple captain, free hit, bench boost. You'll have one set of these to use before 30th December. So just use all of them because if you don't use them before, they'll be void. Because then you get a new set after that for the second half of the season. So this chip strategy is gonna tie in with the extra transfers for Afcon. Because I know FPL just wanted to do that. Um, a lot of people were iffy about this. So like, well, it gives us 5 free transfers. They think might be too much because with the double chips. But look, that's what they're doing. I think they're just trying to make it more fun and help managers. But I know we'll see how it plays out. Um, so yeah, this was just my draft. Not set in stone yet. So I think you got Gyokeres coming in for Arsenal soon, so that might change the draft a bit depending. And Isaac might be leaving Newcastle. So we'll just see what happens there. But anyway, so usually, so a lot of people using bench boost in the first week, which yes, I did a video on that before, but that was just showing an aggressive approach. So look, you can do that if you want, but I think it's better to hold your chips and wait to see what the season has in store after a few games, because then you get to see what players are doing well, what teams are doing well, who's the focal point still, players' forms, fixtures. Um, so my first, as soon as I saw the fixtures for wildcard, I just saw, where was it? Come on. Oh, there you go. Sorry. So for the wild card, I reckon a good time for that is probably 13 because you got a fixture swing here. So Liverpool, Man City don't have the best games here, but then from 13, you got a big fixture swing there. It's pretty decent. You look at that. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've got a good run, Man City. From there to there, even Liverpool, very good run. Arsenal's just a tricky game. That's not till later. So that was my initial thought for the first wild card. And then when you use that, that's pretty much all your transfers done. And then where's Afcon? Afcon is game week 16. So you'll have another 5 transfers for free. Everyone will get that. Doesn't matter if you're Uncle Bob or Sergeant Sally or Debbie Downer. Everyone gets it, you know. Um, so if you do that and then, 16, is it game week 16? Yes, game week 16, you'll get it. Not 17, 16. So you do your wild card, then 16. You can do a few little transfers here if you want, but then 16, you get another 5 extra. So then, some people aren't performing. You can change some. Then you can even go on to Arsenal assets with players leaving for Afcon. What you'll have Salah, Ait Nouri, I think. You'll have a few players going for Afcon, mainly the African players. Probably Kudus, Salah will be, Salah will be the biggest one, obviously. Um, yes, got it here. Embuemo, Wissa, Eight Nuri, Mamouche. To say you wildcard or 12th or 13, then you get those players, and then that they say they go because you're getting Liverpool, Man City assets. Then you can use the free 5 transfers to transfer those big hitters out because obviously on 13 you're gonna get Salah, Mamouche, Haaland. So once they leave for Afcon and you get those 5 free transfers, and you can transfer them out and just replace them with a few other players. Arsenal. Uh, it just depends. It's far away, but you get the idea. So that's for the wild card for the first half of the season, and then the next one, triple captain. Usually triple captain you want to say for double game weeks, but those usually come in the second half of the season, which will probably be it's usually around 30 game week 30 plus 30 to 34 the game double game weeks. Sometimes even 25 to 30. It just depends. But obviously we get 2 chips, 2 sets of chips. So you're gonna obviously want to use it before game week 19. So for a triple captain, usually you want to target the promoted teams or any teams that are just very weak defensively, and you'd get the big plays hauling. So usually you just say Liverpool. You have Salah. So let's go check Salah. So Sunderland in 14. That's a good one to do a triple captain. Because you expect him to play and just get a big score. So Sunderland lead. Who else? Where's Burnley? Even Burnley, week 4. If you want to triple captain Salah. And then with Man City, probably Haaland because he's the main focal point. So you could look at Burnley game week 6. Even Leeds or Sunderland. So those 2 weeks right here, 14, 15. That's probably going to be some big points there, depending obviously how Sunderland go. Sorry, Sunderland fans, but there's always one team or one of the promoted teams that there's big points. That's that. With Liverpool, there's so many more attacking options now that they got. So Edit Kike, Edit I don't know how to say his names. Edit Ticketek, whatever. He's in there. So they've got Wirtz. Diaz is going, but there's going to be a lot of people saying there's going to be a lot more attacking options for Liverpool, so that might spread the points out more. But I still think Salah is going to be the focal point with the attack. He's just going to bounce off him more. So there's probably going to be more goals and assists now. But we'll wait and see. You just kind of wait and see to see what happens, and then whoever's getting the most points, or you think's going to just smash it, you put the triple captain on them. So that's for that. I'm not going to do the second part of the season. That's so far away. That's the double chips. Anything can happen then. So I'll just leave it for that. So this is mostly for the first half. So that's that. Free hit. You can. It depends on your team, kind of, because if when you're going to use the other chips, but usually you want to use your free hit if you either got injuries and but then you could use your wild card. So then you usually want to use your wild card and then bench boost, because then you can set up your bench for the wild cards with the wild card. So free hit is kind of if you really want to target good fixtures of another team and you don't have their players. So just say free hit game week 2, because a lot of people aren't going with Arsenal. So say Arsenal smash it the first game, and then people are like, oh, I want to get Arsenal assets, but then the next 4 games, Liverpool, it's not the easiest. Say you just free hit game week 2 with Arsenal assets, Chelsea assets, you know, even Man City assets. So you can just stack your players on those teams for it to make the most of it. Um, then there's other times where we've used free hit when there's a lot of injuries or there's not many games. But again, in the first half of the season, it's not many. It just depends on your team and how everyone's going. Um, so it just depends. So even here, free hit 19, and I just saw the green. Green looks good. You get Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Newcastle. Not even, like those are good. Those line up really nicely. You could free hit that and just triple stack it. Triple stack your team with Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Newcastle. Even get a Brighton player in there. You're just trying to target the easy fixtures to maximize your points. So that's that. Then bench boost. The bench boost is similar to wildcard. Like you try to use it with your wildcard, like after or before. Because when you use your wildcard, you can stack players, and then just make your bench a bit stronger. So you could even say wildcard 13, and then bench boost 14. Or you can wildcard 12 and get your players ready for 13. And say then you get, some Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford players. Then for 13, you can bench boost. And then you'll have a good bench to boost it. Usually we use bench boost when there's a double game week. But because there's no game week for the first half, that's for that. So yeah, that's for that there. And then obviously in the second half, look, that's so far away. We don't know when we're gonna get the double game weeks or the single game weeks where there's not a lot of games. But usually for the second half, there'll be another video later, but you'd want to save usually your wild card. If so, say there's a double game week on let's just say 32, and then you can wild card 31, get all your good players in for then, and then if there's a double game week here, then you just double use your bench boost, so you get 30 players bench boosted. So you'll have 30 players because the bench boost will be 15 times 2. So that's that. Also for the wild card, you want to check international breaks and friendlies. So there'll be no games on the weekend of the 6th and 11th and the 15th. That's for the first half. So if you go here, and then so see how there's a break there. That's 3. So yeah, so there's a little break there. There'll be a lot of price rises and falls usually during then, depending. Then the next one is oh yeah, there 7 and 8. So even some people might wildcard then between 7 and 8. Then you have all that time. You'll have you have good data collected, and you can see how everyone's doing. So you can do it between then. But I just think the best, it's going to depend on the season. But I think 12 to 13 is looking like a good place to wildcard. We'll just play by ear, see how it goes. I just wanted to do a video on that, just as some thoughts and ideas when to do it. When is the next one? Remember the 15th. Oh yeah, so then there's the next one. See, then there's even international break around 11, 12. But yeah, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. So yeah, I hope that helps, and with the, the extra transfers for Afcon, how that plays in as well. So we get even more transfers there to help us. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that helps. hope that hopes. Hope that helps. See you next time. Peace. Ciao, ciao. Happy FPLing. Yeah, new tagline. All right. Ciao, ciao. Thank you. Bye.